Our guest tonight is former WWE superstar JTG. How you doing, man?
Cheer, doing great, man.
That's awesome. Listen, for fans who haven't read it yet, you released an ebook entitled Damn, Why Did I Write This Book? It's a collection of funny and entertaining short stories from your career. What were you hoping to accomplish by writing this book, and why was now the right time to release it?
Um, a lot of my friends and family and, guys in the business, they would tell me that I had hilarious stories and have a unique way on telling them. They'll tell me that I needed to get it on paper and, put out a book, and I would just kind of like shrug them off. Like, I'm not no author, Then one day I just decided to say, like, what it says, the picture, the caption on the book, F it, I decided to write the book, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback and reaction, and there's not really so much of timing. It was just, that's the way it just came out.
Mike Chiari?
Many fans probably remember your controversial tweets after the roster got shortchanged on the WrestleMania 28 paychecks, and that's something you talked about in your book, and how that kind of led to a meeting with Triple H at WWE headquarters, and then eventually WWE was able to adjust some of those checks. So I was wondering, after you went to bat for your colleagues like that, how were you received in the locker room? Did that alleviate some of the heat that you had picked up over the years? Or do you think you were maybe in too deep at that point?
It went both ways. Like, I got a lot of respect, and also they was very thankful. They thanked me because they saw the difference on their checks the following week. But at the same time, I was still kind of had that dark cloud over me. That's the guy who put those tweets out. Let me not get too, I respect him, I appreciate him, but let me not get too close to him because, he's got some heat on him.
PG?
As fans, we eat up when wrestlers give us a glimpse behind the scenes, and you did this throughout your book. But was there anything you were hesitant to include, or is there something you left out that you feel fans should know?
I'm definitely in part two. That's what I'm definitely going to do. I'm going to give them another glimpse backstage, and I'm going to have a lot more fun with the second one.
You already planning the second one? Is it you got a release date or anything like that?
I don't have a release date. It's gonna whenever I'm done. I'm done. I'm not gonna stress myself out on putting a date on it and try to accomplish it before that. When writing Dan, why did I write this book? I didn't have a release date. I just finished the stories. I went back on them and read it back to myself, and I just wanted everything to be perfect. So I believe when you rush and you have a release date, you're not as creative as you want to be.
All right, well, while you mentioned Vince McMahon in the ebook at times, you didn't talk as much about the boss as most expected. With Vince often accused of being out of touch, what is your perception of McMahon, and do you feel the company would be better off with someone else calling the final creative shots?
No, I prefer Vince in charge. I like the way he runs things because Vince is very accessible. His door is always open. You can knock on his door and throw some ideas around. He might not know what's up to date, but that's why he has the creative team and people that work with him. And in my opinion, when I was there, I don't know how they're running it now, but there weren't too many people of different backgrounds and different age groups. It's kind of just like there's one age group and kind of one background there, and it kind of gave, like for instance, African American superstars. They didn't have really much to relate, have writers to relate to them.
Mike Chiari?
A lot of wrestlers like to use their books kind of as an opportunity to bury others, but someone who you put over in a big way as a true professional in your book was Chris Jericho. Why did you enjoy working with him so much, and what do you think kind of set him apart from some of the other top guys in WWE in terms of being a locker room leader?
There's a few other top guys in there that were great locker room leaders. I probably would definitely point them out in part two, but I just wanted to put spotlight on Jericho because he did me a big favor, putting me over in New Jersey, which is not too far from my hometown. And then also working with Shad and I at SummerSlam for the titles. Top guys, you definitely get to pick who you want to work with. You could definitely say no, and he gave us a shot, and he also helped us step up our game in the ring, and also brought us to a different light into the WWE universe.
BG?
Well, you mentioned Shad, and after you left WWE, you reformed Crime Time with him. I was always a big fan of you guys in WWE, but a lot of people had mixed feelings on the message behind the characters. What do you think of WWE's vision for Crime Time, and how did their vision differ from what you guys had in mind?
Well, I believe we had the same vision because Shad and I came up with the characters. You know, we came up with the vignettes, the workout vignettes that you saw on Raw. Those were we did that first in OVW. You know, we took the initiative and we did a bunch of vignettes, and we did it for OVW television. And Vince saw those vignettes, and that's what got us hired. You know, Vince didn't see us wrestling and say, "Oh, these guys are great Mac technicians. You know, let's get them up here." No, he saw the vignettes. He thought we were entertaining, we were fun, and he brought us up. And all they did for the vignettes with WWE was just put some money behind it and some good production, with some HD cameras.
All right, one point in your book, you mentioned a situation where a superstar informed you that it was basically going to be a squash match. You asked Vince, and he claimed that wasn't the case. To me, the story sounds like your match with CM Punk in 2010. What is your perception of how Punk handled himself during his time with WWE, and how was he received by the other superstars in the locker room?
You think it's Punk? Okay, I didn't say it was Punk, but if you think
I just watching the video, and I went back and I watched the video of because you mentioned not tapping out immediately as was supposed to be, and him screaming in your face. And watching that video, it sure looks like CM Punk is screaming in your face. I'm not sure. I'm not a professional, but maybe maybe.
Well, to answer your question, Punk is definitely respected backstage. You know, he's outspoken. He speaks up. You know, he doesn't bite his tongue, and he just keeps it real. He's a straight shooter, and his work quality. You know, as you already know, he's a great in the ring, great on the mic. So he's definitely respected backstage. That's how we look at him backstage. The boys in the locker room.
Mike Chiari?
I think one of the most interesting stories from your book kind of referenced a top guy preventing WWE from releasing your sunglasses as merchandise because of something you accidentally said in an interview. And you didn't name names, but, you know, I'm going to go out on a limb also, and I'm just going to assume that maybe it was John Cena. So with that said, what are your overall feelings regarding Cena as the face of WWE? Do you feel like he at all maybe uses his status to hold down others at times?
Definitely, you know, I believe that John Cena, he's trying to stay the king of the hill. If anybody's a threat, you know, he's definitely going to have some saying to it. But in my opinion, I think he has shares of the company because the way that everything has to go by him first, kind of sometimes.
BG?
In-ring competition is thriving outside of WWE with promotions like Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, and New Japan. Have you been following these promotions? And if so, is there any interest on your end to go to one of those promotions to showcase your skills?
I went to a few Lucha Underground shows. Shad and I went a couple, I believe last month. And I pitched the idea when it first came out. I didn't know too much about the company, but I pitched the idea to one of the writers. Didn't hear anything back, but I'm not really looking forward to going back on the road full time doing professional wrestling. You know, I'm focused on other projects and branding myself and branding Crime Time outside of wrestling. So I haven't been following TNA. The last full wrestling show I've watched with WWE was WrestleMania, which was a great show. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, a huge thanks to JTG for coming on the show tonight. Check out his new ebook, Damn, Why Did I Write This Book? Because it is totally worth the price. Tell the fans where they can find the book and where they can support you, man.
They can find the book on PayHip and just type in Damn, Why Did I Write This Book? Or you can follow me on Twitter, JTG1284. The link is in my bio, and you can also follow me on Instagram, JTG121084, and the link is in my bio. And I'll be doing a Q&A soon. Fans can send me their questions, and I'll reply to them using this new app called Earsay, EARSAYE, and it's a self-destructing voice messaging app that allows you to send voice messages with cool sound effects. So I'm going to be sending some cool sound bites over Twitter and engaging with the fans.
That's awesome. Another big thanks, JTG. Thanks for coming on the show, man. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Peace.